Well, it's like saying, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and get a lot of muscles, and then I'm never going to go to the gym again because I have the muscles, so they must just stay. Well, no, they don't. They will start atrophying.
Right.
Any skill is the same way.
Welcome to Creativity with Purpose, where we explore the stories, struggles, and sparks that shape our creative lives. I'm your host, Ann Maracek, author, healer, and believer in the power of meaningful expression. Together, we'll dive deep into what it means to create with heart, live with intention, and heal through the beauty of storytelling.
I'm Ann Maracek, and this is Creativity with Purpose. Today we're talking with Jasmin Jahal. She is a professional belly dancer with her own dance company. She has mentored under master choreographer Ibrahim Farah, and she carries on the Bobby legacy. With over 40 years of belly dance experience under her belt, or should we say hip scarf, Jasmin is known as the dancer's dancer and the teacher's teacher. She has performed and taught throughout North America, Europe, and the Middle East. She is also a nationally certified reflexologist and professional member of the American Reflexology Certification Board and the Reflexology Association of America. She currently has a thriving private practice in the Chicago area, and she works at Lutheran General Hospital helping cancer patients through reflexology. She's a trailblazer in Chicago, opening Chicago's only school of reflexology certification. This school has earned top recognition with the National Council for Reflexology Education. Hi, Jasmin.
Good morning, Ann. How are you?
I am so fine, and I'm so excited to reconnect. In light of full disclosure, Jasmin and I used to belly dance together. Now she has continued on with her amazing career. And after 3 car wrecks, I have pivoted away from my professional dancing. But just so everyone knows, we used to dance together and it was just so much fun.
Yes, dance has brought many, many good people into my life.
You
Yes.
know, isn't that the truth? It seems that the more you follow your passion, and you open your heart to pursuing what gives you joy, the world will bring into your circle some wonderful connections.
I
And
totally agree.
so
When you
oftentimes is the case, even when you seem like you've drifted apart, just like with us, sometimes things circle right back and you reconnect and you find that, you know what? We still have so much in common.
Yes, yes, you follow your dreams and you try to
Yeah,
make them come true, but what's life all about if you don't try to do that?
that's exactly right. Following your passion till it is at its fullest potential and its fullest expression,
But
right?
that takes determination and belief in yourself
It does.
and a little bit of guts because you got to take some risks, and not
Yes,
everybody does that. So they
that's
might
very
wish
true.
they could be a pilot or an author or a dancer, but to really make that happen, you gotta put in the work.
Yes, you do. You have to put in the work. And there is a certain dedication to purpose that is required. Absolutely. I've always been curious how you actually got started in belly dance because I'm sure my story and your story are as unique as each of us.
True. I have been dancing since I was 3 years old in the world of
Yes,
ballet. And that was my first love. And that was where I fell in love with wanting to be a dancer as a career.
yes.
But I didn't have the body for a ballerina. I was too short, too curvy, too muscular for them. I didn't look like a 2x4, hardly. I still love ballet, okay? But I had to find another way.
Yeah,
I had to find another way to move the dance into a different direction that still felt good to me. And I
yeah,
tried quite an assortment, everything from ballroom and Latin to any kind of jazz and modern, all of that stuff. And then I started veering into the ethnic side. I really liked flamenco,
Oh,
found that it was a very strong
yes.
personality and a little too strong for me. I'm a very soft-hearted female, so I kept looking and I stumbled on a Park District class that had a belly dance teacher,
Oh,
and I took the class out of curiosity, but not
mhm.
expecting anything. I thought, well, I've danced my whole life. Whatever, we'll try it. I was 18. I'd never seen belly dance because at
Oh,
that
wow.
time there was no internet and you were too young to go to a nightclub, and there were a lot of nightclubs at that time.
True.
So I just took this class. Here's a little lady in her little leotard teaching some movements that were some interesting different things. At the end of an 8-week course, she came into the classroom in full costume and performed for us for about 10 minutes. And I was blown away. I was like, wow, now I can see how the movements were supposed to be looking in a costume versus in a leotard.
Right.
And her movements and her fluidity and she was just amazing and beautiful. It was like this normal being that just blossomed right in front of me. And I thought, oh my God, I think I'm going to take another class. And little did I know that one step would lead to the next, because one thing I have learned in my life is if you're on the right path,
Yes.
things come to you when they're supposed to, but they do come and they flow. It flows towards you. And I went so exploring for other teachers. At the time, this was 1978, and
Oh,
yes, and it was a time where belly dancing's popularity in America was decreasing.
hmm.
So looking for a local class became more difficult, and then I had to reach outward. And long story short, this is how I found Ibrahim Farah from New York and ended up using him or working with him as a mentor.
Uh-huh.
It
Uh-huh.
was fantastic. And he appealed to me very much because in the ballet world, I was very used to a strong disciplinarian
Yes, of
teacher.
course.
And I was also in love with the orchestrated music and the complexity of the movement. And this is what I found with him, the way he trained and what he showed me, that the Middle Eastern dance could be put in the theater realm. He brought Middle Eastern dance into Carnegie Hall. He went around the world first. He was one of the first teachers around the world.
Wow.
And he was a great inspiration. He also was an author. So I loved what he stood for. He was all
Yes.
about authenticity, really learning your craft, learning the culture behind it, because this was not my original culture, and
Right. Of course not.
res- respecting it as an art form. And this I loved, and this was my motto then for my career. And it really took me a long, long way. I
Yeah.
mean, every goal I set for myself, I accomplished. It was fantastic.
Yeah. And I agree with you about the flow. And I was in that place with belly dance for quite a while. And then 3 car wrecks later ended up having to pivot. And I'm experiencing that flow now though with my author's journey and with my YouTube journey. So it seems like I agree with you completely that when you find where you're supposed to be, that the synchronicities just start opening. And if you say yes and you walk through that door, the next door will be there and it will open for you. But it takes that willingness and that bravery to say yes and to walk through these doors where you may not be in a realm where you're comfortable, right? You have to stretch yourself and put yourself out there. But the rewards are so infinite.
Oh, huge, yes.
Just so you know, I very briefly studied with Bobby. I took a couple of his seminar classes, and I absolutely loved how his discipline in the classroom was so empowering, really, because it gave you a very succinct method that you could follow. You felt like you knew what was expected of you and how to proceed. And I just loved that about him.
Yes, he had very high standards, and he was like the Balanchine as he has a choreographer
Yeah.
for ballet world. He was the the Balanchine of Middle Eastern dance too.
Oh, I totally agree. And I know you have your own dance company now.
I've had three in my 40 years of
Oh my
Middle Eastern
goodness.
dance, three different dance companies. I've had the only long-term running belly dance school, like 100% belly dance, not any other dance,
Yeah.
in Chicagoland for 25 years. I produced music, I produced videos, I produced big theater shows twice a year for many
Wow.
years. I loved what I did, and I loved teaching what I did. That's
Yeah.
the other thing I learned was I didn't only just like to be on the stage. I liked choreographing for other people, evolving the dance company. That was a great creative outlet.
Yes.
I just it was a fantastic ride, I can't tell you. I keep pinching myself and in a way I'm kind of sorry the ride is over because as in everything, things kind of they crest and then
Right.
they subside like waves. And right
Right.
now we're in a trough. And and in the meantime, what do you do? You have to find a way.
Yes.
And this is what the time where I started learning and exploring other things, including the world of holistic healthcare. And I had had an injury on top of it, which really drove me into that arena,
Yes.
shoulder injury. I had a rotator tear off. So,
Hmm.
yes, so I
That
explored.
makes snake arms a little hard, doesn't it?
It made everything a little hard.
Yeah.
And it was very frustrating because I was somebody who was used to moving and was a very
Right.
fit and in control. I'm still fit and in control of my body. I couldn't stand it. And
Yeah.
I had to wait for surgery and ended up discovering by chance a reflexologist that I knew really nothing about, but a
Huh?
friend of mine encouraged me to go because she said that it really will reduce your pain levels before you get the surgery. You can't help yourself, and I'm very bad at taking painkillers. I don't do that very well.
Right.
So I wanted an alternate way.
Mhm.
And to my wonderful surprise, I saw a man who is now retired since COVID. I didn't know that he was nationally famous in the reflexology world, and he helped me very, very much. And he inspired me after the surgery to go to school and explore how I can help myself and as well as other people
Yes.
with this beautiful alternative healthcare modality.
Mhm.
And it surprisingly focuses on your feet. And as a dancer, since 3 years old, being in point shoes and then working on my feet
Yeah.
professionally, I appreciated how one walks, how one stands,
Yes.
how the whole body works together for your health,
Mhm.
and how that is reflected in your feet. And reflexology is a little something similar to belly dance, is that it's an underrated art form.
Mhm.
I really had to crusade for Middle Eastern dance for people
Yes.
to recognize it as an art.
Mhm.
And the reflexology world is one that isn't as well known right now as acupuncture or massage therapy.
Mhm.
So a lot of times people go, well, what the heck is that anyway? And how does that work? And that sounds strange. And is that real? And then I find that now I'm teaching reflexology to people in general because I do library presentations and things like this just to educate the general
Yeah.
public. And I found as well that in Chicago, which is such a huge city, we
Yes.
have no school right now of reflexology at all. So I took it on myself, kept learning, was inspired. I thought, well, I could teach Middle Eastern dance for 25 years. I can do this. I'm
Sure.
comfortable talking and learning and teaching and sharing and so last year I opened Chicago's only school for reflexology certification. It's kind of in tandem with what I've done before, trailblazing, but
Yes.
when you want to be successful at something you have to really push yourself to do the work and believe in yourself.
Yes.
Make it happen because you can.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I think so often it is the mindset that is the real block,
Mhm.
right? So I've had to re-envision myself as an author, as a keynote speaker, right? As a content creator, and to step into those roles with the confidence and the passion that these are platforms where I can help others, right? And I think that when your motivation is to give, the universe honors that. And I have found that so many doors have opened because I believe that the unpacking the attic, I never meant to make that public. That was my own healing journey. And yet I was awoken at 3 a.m. with the message from my spirit guides. The title of your book is Unpacking the Attic. And I'm looking around the dark, empty room going, thank you. What book? I had put it in the file cabinet for 8 years and forgot about it.
Wow.
Completely forgot about it. And I got this vision in my mind of the manuscript in that file drawer, and I heard, it's time. And the next morning in my inbox, I'm scrolling emails, is the Steve Harrison Publishing Company. And my husband's like, you have to call, it's a sign. And about an hour-long conversation with them. And 9 months later, Unpacking the Attic is available on Amazon. And I never would have dreamed that that would have been my path. And now I'm doing music keynote speaking and I'm presenting the healing messages of the book on many platforms. It's won 15 awards. Who would have ever believed, right? I've stepped into a whole new career, but by following my passion and my desire to help and my desire to give back, I feel like all of these doors are opening. And I think that creativity with purpose, I think that is really so typical of so many creators, is that when you step into that desire and that passion to do the work and to give back, that those doors just begin to open and the synchronicities start to happen. You just have to say yes and step through.
Well, and we're using the phrase do the work, but it doesn't feel like work, you know?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It's just to um, follow your creative expression, and whatever it takes is what keeps coming into my mind. Do whatever it takes to help, to get the message out there, to be the message, right?
Walk
Right.
your talk too, yes.
Right, exactly. And you know, my path to belly dance started because of an injury. It sounds like your path to reflexology started because of an injury. It was that need to heal oneself.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the expression hurt people, people, heal people.
Excellent.
So when I found the path to healing, then it was automatic to want to share that. Right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's exciting to share that to other people.
It is. It's truly exciting. So how in the world did you end up at the hospital doing reflexology? I mean, that's so fabulous. I mean, it's quite the platform, my dear.
I really went into it wanting to deal with helping others with pain,
Yeah.
and I I guess it was meant to be. I told you the
Yeah.
things that are right they come along. I had
Yeah.
a reflexologist I met through the Reflexology Association of America, and she said, you know, there's this cancer center that's interested in having reflexologists, and she was on her way towards retirement. And she
Oh,
said, maybe you would like to try this. And I'll be honest with you, working at a cancer center at first was a little bit hard.
yeah.
I'm a very compassionate person, and I felt so bad for the people who were suffering,
Mhm.
but I still knew I was in the right place. And um, I learned this loving, energetic exchange to
Mhm.
happen in the reflexology session. And it's like magic almost. And I have clients now. I still work there 2 to 3 days a week, even though I have a big private practice. Um, they come into the door saying, I didn't feel good this morning, but I wouldn't miss my reflexology session for the world. I couldn't wait to get back here. And it's wonderful. The healing is beyond just a physical healing. It's an emotional one and a mental one too. There's a lot of stress that they go through, anxiety, and the whole session is so holistic, literally.
Mhm.
It feels great. And being the practitioner, I'm sure
Yes.
you can relate, you are really in the moment. When
Mhm.
you're there, you're not thinking about, oh, I have to pay my bills later or put gas
Right.
in the car
Right.
or do some. You are there in the moment, as I was when I was doing dance, performing,
Yes.
or teaching. The same in reflexology. I'm there in the moment, and those are the moments you are the most alive,
Yeah.
really.
Absolutely. And humans tend to live most of their life either mentally in the past or in the future. And yet, the now is where the magic is.
It's true.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where the passion is. That's where the connectiveness is. Yeah. When I was years ago, my daughter was in grade school still, actually. Now I have grandchildren, so as you know, it's been a while back. I was going into a dance studio where I was the piano teacher. Okay, so they had a little fine arts center there. And I was setting up, I was teaching a music preschool class at the time. And so I was there way early because I wanted to set the room up for this little holiday party for the kiddos. So I had a big grocery bag and it was full of cookies that I'd baked for the kids and coloring book pages that I'd put together for them and all boxes of crayons and all kinds of stuff that I wanted to set through decorations. I was going to really make it so when they walked in, it was like, for their party. So I'm in a hurry. I'm rushing in. It is 17 degrees. And the parking lot, the employees' parking lot to get to the dance studio was at the bottom of the hill. And at the top of the hill was the fire station. Now, why that's important? They used to empty the hoses for the fire engines before they put them away. Okay, fine. Well, apparently they'd done that. And that water ran down that hill, down that parking lot. Well, at 6 a.m., that was black ice. Now, I'm in a hurry. I'm focused on getting into the classroom. I'm focused on, oh my God, it is so cold. And I didn't have a coat. I was dressed in my little party outfit because I was just going from the warm car to the warm music dance studio, right? 3-second walk. I hit that black ice so hard and so fast, I fell. My left leg wrenched backwards in a position in the splits in a way that God never intended that joint to move. And I couldn't get up.
Oh my God.
And as I found out later, I actually partially severed the nerve bundle that goes from your torso down your leg.
Uh-huh.
And I'd also ruptured my knee and ruptured the meniscus. So it was a profound fall. It was a really bad injury. And I am sitting there in a daze, in shock, in pain, watching the crayons in my bag of supplies roll one at a time down the parking lot and plunk into the sewer. So here's this rainbow, red, there she goes, blue, there she, and I couldn't get up. And I start crying out for help. Help, help. Is anybody there? Nobody. Absolutely no one. And I'm there in this little party frock, no coat. It's 17 degrees. I'm on the ice cold pavement, and there is just nobody. And I begin to see the newspaper headlines, piano teacher dies frozen to death. I was in serious trouble at this point. Well, finally, the man that owns the barbershop across the hall from the music dance studio shows up and opens up, and he hears me and he comes running over. And he's like, I never get here this early. I'm usually not here until, at least an hour after this. I don't know why I was so pushed to get here early this morning. So thank you, universe, for saving me. And I did have frostbite. I did have, a lot of problems. I was really in shock and hyperthermia by this point. But obviously he saved me, and knee surgery later, and I still couldn't, my left leg still wouldn't walk, still wouldn't hold my weight. I was still dragging my leg from my hip. I couldn't lift my leg at all. And through neurologists and all kinds of things, we found out that I had partially severed that nerve bundle, which wasn't initially discovered. So here I am. I've been a dancer since 4, just like you. I did tap, jazz, ballet. I sang and danced at the Palace Show. It's Six Flags over Mid-America. I professionally danced. I'd done dance in college. And now I can't even walk. It was unacceptable, right? I'm not living the rest of my life on crutches. This is not for me. Mm-hmm. And so I too began to look at classes. The physical therapy took a year. It helped a little, not profoundly. I still couldn't really walk on the legs, certainly couldn't dance. And I found belly dance and took my first class, and it was extremely painful. But I knew that was a good sign, because it meant that those nerves were trying to wake up. Because with paralysis, oftentimes you have no feeling in the limb. But when the pain started coming back, I thought, this is a good thing, right? The leg is waking up.
Yes.
And after, I guess, a year of classes, I was really fully functioning again. After 2 years of classes, I was asked to join the performing company. And then after a couple of years after that, I started my own dance company, which was such a joy. It was so wonderful. It was so profound. And like you, I loved teaching. I loved choreographing. I loved designing costumes. I loved booking us into different dance seminar shows. It was such a creative expression and such a wonderful community to be a part of. And I think that sense of community is something that is essential, because no one is an island, right? We all put pebbles in the stream, and those ripples need to go out. And so we're social beings. We need to connect with other people. And I love that connection. And I think that's what you're talking about with your dance company and with the reflexology that you do. There is a connectivity that happens there. There's an interchange of energy.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, mm-hmm. It is. So it's nice to hear that your belly dancing being a type of dance that is very natural to the joints.
Yes.
It's very healing, and it also heals the spine. This I learned over the years. People who came with spinal injuries actually improved their flexibility and their strength. And then now, as doing neuropathy patients, I work with them trying to revive their nervous system. Reflexology is all about the nervous system.
Yeah.
And what you're saying is correct. When the nerves are not communicating correctly, it takes stimulus to make it reconnect. And when it does, the first perception of that communication by the brain is that it thinks it feels pain. It perceives it as pain. And I'm always telling people who have neuropathy, as it improves, the first perception you're going to have is going to hurt. And don't think that's a bad health response. Right. It's a positive one.
Right.
Sometimes we have to like have leap of faith
Hmm.
and trust that this is the right way, even if there's a little pain, because life is has pain in it, unfortunately. In order to feel the good, to feel the wonderful, to feel the amazing, there
Right.
has to be the balance. Everything is
Exactly.
balance.
Yeah, I used to come home from those belly dance classes, the early ones, in tears. And yet I knew enough about the healing process from having had the broken neck, and going through that whole journey, which was another whole thing. I knew, though, that that was encouraging because it meant there was a connection. There was a connectivity. Something was starting to wake up again. And by pushing through that, eventually it turned from pain to strength and to responsiveness and to control and then to healing. And so now I rarely even think about the fact that I had partially severed that nerve bundle because it's rebuilt itself. It's back. It's regained its vitality, and its strength is back. So I don't even consider this left leg to be a problem anymore because it functions, right?
Mhm.
Now, sometimes the knee that was operated on still gives me issues, and I go in and I do laser light therapy on it and so forth. I was just there this morning actually doing laser light. But okay, so, you get banged up a little bit if you live. That's just what happens, right? But it shouldn't be an excuse to sit back and not try. It shouldn't be
Oh,
an excuse to not pursue the healing, right?
yes, and then to stay flexible and fluid and honor that body
Yeah,
in order to keep quality of life as you get older.
right.
And that's an absolutely necessary thing. You cannot just sit on the couch and watch TV or look at your phone and then go eat some bad fast food and think that you're going to grow old healthy. It's not going to happen.
That's right. That's right. We like it or not, our spirits in a body,
Yes.
right? And so to be able to express your passion and to live to your fullest potential, you have to maintain the vessel that we find ourselves in.
That's what we've got to work with.
That's right.
We
Exactly
just have
right.
to remember that that's just one part of us. That's like the outer physical part of us, but there's all this inside of you that is more important almost, but you have to honor the outside in order for the inside to thrive.
Right. Right. Exactly. Well, it's a kind of a dance,
Well,
right?
yeah,
The body and spirit, it's a kind of a dance. It's a tango, right?
that's true.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that it's important that we enable ourselves to follow our passion through maintaining our physical health and strength and vitality. And, like you were talking about fast food, that's so true. I'm a gardener and I started organic gardening to recover from another injury. My husband and I are avid travelers. We were in Bali, Indonesia. And I was served at a very fancy restaurant a fish that was toxic with ciguatera poisoning. And it dang near killed me.
Oh my God.
It is a neurotoxin. I ended up in a coma in a hotel room in Bali for 3 days. Came home in a wheelchair in stage 4 thyroid and adrenal failure. So I have been through many, many broken parts, physical injuries, but also this poisoning. And I went to 5 different doctors, MDs, all of which said, well, there's no antidote and there's no cure. And do you have a will?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, if it was a toxin that went in, isn't it logical that you should be able to pull that toxin back out? So I found a holistic practitioner and she started me on a process of detoxing. And I think we did every detox known to man on the planet, every different type of detox protocol. And I did anything she asked me to do. And I would, oh, and by the way, I blew up to over 200 pounds when I was poisoned, because that's your body's response to having this neurotoxin, is that it pushes the toxin into adipose tissue to keep it away from your heart, so it doesn't damage your organs. So I had this massive weight, and I had always been, 90 pounds wet as a professional belly dancer, right? So I was always tiny person, but now all of a sudden I'm huge. I hate myself. I hate my body. I'm in pain. But I knew there was a way through it. So she just kept detox and then rest, because every time I detox, I'd lose weight, and then that poison would flood my system again, and I'd become symptomatic. So we just stair-stepped it down. Detox, rest, detox, rest, detox, rest, detox, rest. And I did that for 7 years. And she took my blood work every 3 months, right? And every time we did the blood work, it was a little bit better. The thyroid was a little better. The adrenals were a little bit better. Now I have 100% fully functional adrenal and about a 90% functional thyroid. And so there's no cure, there's no antidote. Well, actually, there is. It takes time, right? Yes. But was that time going to go by with me dying and saying goodbye and giving up? Or was that time going to go by with me inching my way back toward health and vitality, and now a whole new career as an author, right? So there is something to be said about the soul and the spirit not accepting that negative vibration or that negative diagnosis. There is something to be said about knowing that there is a healing path and just doing whatever it takes to find it. Right? Now, I do all my own organic gardening now. I make my own salsas and pastas and jellies. We have a small orchard. I mean, it took me down another creative path. And I love gardening. Who would have ever known? I'm the city girl. I thought food just showed up at Deerberg's at the grocery store. Who knew? But now I do my own composting. I mean, I don't use any insecticides. I went through, okay, if it was a toxin, that means my body is so toxic it can't handle anything else. So I'm going to throw out every cleaning product and every makeup and everything there is in my house that isn't 100% organic, because I'm going to support my detox pathways and not give them anything else to deal with, right? And I still do that now. And I feel healthier and more vibrant now than I did before I was poisoned. So, yes. So now I feel like, was that really a negative in my life, or was that necessary trauma to say, okay, you're going down a path that's going to lead you to a short and unproductive older age. Let's turn the rudder. Now, it's a pretty dramatic turn. But now I feel like I am in a better place than I was even before I got poisoned, both emotionally and physically. So our things are the adversaries, the traumas in our life, those are opportunities to teach and reframe.
And they brought you to where you are now.
Right, exactly.
Almost for a necessary step.
Right. Exactly. And tell me about your classes. I'm sure that the reflexology students that you have, I'm sure that's opening doors for them as well.
Oh, huge. And it's bringing people in from all kinds of, backgrounds. So everything from nurses I've had in the class who have medical background to other healthcare modalities like acupuncture, massage therapists, hair stylists cosmetologists.
Fun.
and they're looking to expand. They're used
Sure.
to being self-employed. They're looking to expand.
Yeah.
And then there's people who just are interested, curious. They take the class thinking, well, I'm just going to do this for personal reasons for
Mhm.
my family. And then a lot of them find out, well, I could make a little money on the side. I could help other people.
Yeah.
And it puts them on an interesting new trajectory, right?
Yes. Yes, exactly. It's that willingness to try new things and be open and
De-
then to follow through.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. I just love it. I just love it. So what is new for you? What is next? I know you've just opened the school, so that's probably pretty consuming.
It keeps me busy. I mean, I'm full-time doing reflexology. I still dabble with teaching dance,
Yeah. Well, I
and
know you have online classes now, don't you?
I have since COVID. Yes, I
Oh
have
yeah.
online classes.
Yeah.
At one point, there were many. There were 6 to 7 classes a week just
Wow.
online, and to people all over the world. They logged in. I still do twice a week that, and
Uh-huh.
I'm also mentoring the next generation of dance teachers. I have
Yes.
put on a program called Sakara Dance, put it online, that is about a lot of things that you need to know if you want to be a professional Middle Eastern dance instructor.
Mhm.
And it's also new, but it is also growing. I have several graduates, and once a year we're going to produce an event. And the next one is in September of 2025 in Peoria, Illinois, because what I'm trying to do is groom the individuals to learn not just how to teach, but how to make a production happen. Because
Yes.
right now, being that the wave is in the trough,
Hmm.
we have to re-stimulate interest in the Middle Eastern dance and in a way that's very uh, positive and feminine and artistic, because we've also fallen into a trough of getting sloppy and the dance becoming too sexual, and it's not very nice anymore. So it's a bit of work to reestablish the right way.
Yes.
Say it
Right.
that way.
Right. The, the artistic expression of the actual authentic dance.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it's
Absolutely.
easily lost. People get very confused. They've many times confused Middle Eastern dance for pole dancing or stripping or,
Yeah.
no, it's not what
That's
it's.
such a shame because it is such a beautiful art form.
It
And
should be.
to truly do belly dance correctly, it takes the same amount of training as to be a ballerina.
Yes, but people are choosing not Middle Eastern music anymore. They're choosing
Oh,
hip hop and pop and stuff like
oh,
this. And they're wearing clothes that are basically see-through skirts or
oh,
ultra mini skirts. It completely sexualizes the movements
right,
and takes away the beauty and dignity of it.
right.
And you, there's very few leaders. I mean, people like Ibrahim Farah are long gone, passed away.
Sure. Yeah,
Mahmoud Reda in Egypt passed away.
yeah,
And the next generation wants things fast, fast, fast. I want to learn it online. I watched it on YouTube for 5 minutes, so now I know I must know what I'm doing.
yeah.
And it doesn't work like that. When you
No,
train your body, you need time.
right.
It's a
Yeah,
discipline.
yeah.
And
And I think that discipline's missing in our society in so many areas. Everybody wants the quick fix. Everyone's. I teach piano lessons. I still do. I've done it. Gosh, I've been teaching piano since I was 14, so it's been a
nice.
day or two. And it used to be that students were willing to practice and put in the work. I used to have contests where they would do study a composer and work toward trophies and answer questions and memorize material. And we incorporated music history and music theory and all kinds of things in addition to just the keyboard skills. And it was a thriving community. Now I'm seeing students that come in and say, well, how many lessons do I have to take before I'm a musician? Uh, there is no Beethoven pill. That's like, are you going to practice? Are you going to
And
learn the foundations and the techniques?
you
Things
know
take
that
time.
there's the saying, and it fits really. It takes 10,000 hours to master anything.
Yes, absolutely. At
You gotta
least,
want to be a musician, you're gonna play hours every day.
yes, every day. And even as a recording artist and a professional composer, if I don't practice for a day, I notice.
Uh-huh.
If I don't practice for a week, you notice, right?
True.
I am at the piano every day. Now, I've been playing since I was 5, okay? But I still practice every day because there is a mental sharpness that you need, a coordination between the hands and the mind. Each individual song builds its own neural pathways. There's a mechanical body memory. And I know the same thing happens with belly dance, with the shimmy or the body wave or whatever the movement is. There is a control, a communication that has to happen between mind and body. And you want that to be so automatic that it becomes fluid. It's like your breath, right? And that doesn't happen unless you stand in that space and you continue to stand in that space.
Well, it's like saying, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and get a lot of muscles, and then I'm never gonna go to the gym again because I have the muscles, so they must just stay. Well, no, they don't. They will start atrophying.
Right,
Any skill is the same way.
right. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, it takes that being in the present, being with it and experiencing it today so that tomorrow when you wake up, you're encouraged and excited to do it again, right? And that's the passion.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is so fun. I am so glad that we've gotten together.
me too.
Yeah. And I wish you the best of luck on your next show.
Thank you.
That was something I always just looked forward to with such anticipation and such excitement was to go and perform on stage in a show. There's nothing like that energy exchange of a live performance. It's just fabulous. And I think, COVID did so much to the performing arts. It really set us back in so many ways because while the online presence was a blessing and it kept it from dying out completely, you don't get that audience feedback as you're dancing or as you're playing. And that exchange that happens, that powerful energy that fills the theater, right? And I think that's something that the next generation of dancers needs to experience and feel because until you're up on that stage and you actually experience it, you may academically understand it, but there's no real knowing. And I think that's where people ignite and catch on fire and want to then carry the baton, shall we say, to the next generation of dancers. Yep. Fun stuff. I just love it. Well, you know what? Let's do this again. This was a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I would love that.
Sounds good. And I will put all of your links in the description below. So anybody that wants to connect with Jasmin for either reflexology or for her belly dance instruction, which is just fabulous at, you will love it so much. It's just a hoot of fun. And so, yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.